So we all remember the rookie ranking on ESPN. We all remember like 4 or 5 weeks ago. Geez, it was a month ago this stage. Yeah, but roughly 5 weeks ago, we all remember Caitlin Clark is the 6th best rookie in the WNBA. We all remember that that article right there. But the guy has come back. He has come back, and there is another interview of him. There's another interview, and he said that he's going to be making another one by the analytics. And do you guys not remember that this had the consensus analytic, whatever the hell that is? I think there was win shares plus minus. I know what win shares are. I know what plus minus is. I don't know what win shares plus minus is. There were all these random stats that I had literally never heard of. And it was like 4 random stats. And it wasn't even like the stuff you normally hear people saying. And again, apparently, she's not even close to being the best rookie according to those analytics. She's not even close. So we all know when it comes to the Jokic vote that voters do take into account analytics. So my prediction of Angel Reese, I'm more and more confident by the day that my prediction of Angel Reese is going to be right. But before we get on to things, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. If we can hit 20.1k by the end of the day, that'd be insane. We're trying to hit like 22,000 subscribers by the break. But anyway, now let's talk about it. So the ESPN rookie rating was wild. Was absolutely wild. Like, and we know, we saw it. We all saw it. But at the same time, does that have any factor of who the best rookie is? I don't know. So let's read what the actual stats are. It's Neil Payne. He was on a podcast, and he basically said that he got into a lot of heat for his article, and that he said still, the stats are like not even close. They're not even close now between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And this one at Cameron Brink at number 1. Like, scoring, true shooting. But like, look what win shares. I know what win shares are. Sorry, not even win shares. I know what PER is. What does PER wins mean? What does SPR wins mean? And what is a consensus? What is a consensus? Like Angel Reese 2, Kate Martin 3. Like, this is when I found it funny. When Kate Martin was ranked ahead of Caitlin Clark. When they had Kate Martin being ranked ahead of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's per minute percentile, 14 of 100. Like, she was way behind. And then they had Alia Edwards at 7. Which was crazy. Which was absolutely crazy. They had Caitlin Clark in the minus for everything. But I will always say this, when it comes to Caitlin Clark's advanced numbers, and people quoting big advanced numbers, and people don't realize, when the Fever lose, they lose bad. They can lose bad. So this is what completely skews any of the like win shares numbers. So if you want to look at the Fever's schedule, there have been a couple of games. Like, first game was a disaster. And we know the first game was a disaster. So, first game, they lose by 21 points. Then they lose by 36 points. Then they lose by 11. So they have lost by like a combined 60 in 3 games. They've lost their first 3 games by an average of like 20 points each. And then they had a couple of close games here. And they get absolutely blown out by the Storm. They get beaten again by 36 points by the Liberty. So you're looking at a team that gets a couple of games they win, a couple of games they lost. It's a 1-point loss, a 12-point loss that could have been a lot worse. They do tend to get blitzed. Like, it's not nearly as bad, or not even do tend to get blitzed. Up until, for the first month of the season, when they lost bad. Like, they had 2 close losses. And it was, like, the Sparks one was 6 points is closer than it actually was. They had the 2 games in a row against the Storm and the Sun, where they had, like, 2 or 4 point losses. But all their losses in the first, up until June the 7th. Or up until, June the 2nd. So their first losses in the first 3 weeks of the season were, like, probably by an average of 15 points. So that's where the win shares come in. And they're not blowing out teams. I'm trying to look at their wins. The most they've won a game by, I think it was the Dream, was it? They beat the Dream by 12. I think that's the most they've won a game by this season. Yeah, like, that's the most they've won a game by. So they've won 1 game by 12, and most of their wins are by a couple of points. And they're just getting, when they lose, they get blitzed. So you're obvious, or when they lost earlier in the year, they got blitzed. So as the year goes on, those advanced numbers will eventually even out. But you got to look at least at the context in this, and like again, also you have to take into account that the advanced numbers favor bigs. They favor bigs. They do. Like Boban Marjanovic, through the first 5 years of his NBA career, was the all-time leader in PER over Wilt Chamberlain for a career. Through the first 5 seasons of his career, he had a higher PER than Wilt Chamberlain. Like, it really favors bigs. It favors bigs, and it doesn't favor guards that play huge minutes. So, like, if you're looking for some of these stats, and even in the NBA level, you can say, oh, but like Michael Jordan's high. Michael Jordan's one of the 2 greatest players of all time. If you arguably the best player of all time. And I assume you're looking at some rookies, like even Victor Wembanyama, if you're looking at the advanced analytics on the offensive end, struggled a bit this year. Defensively, geez, unbelievable, but offensively struggled. So we're looking at by the stats, and I'm pretty sure with the way he was talking, with the way the guy was talking, Caitlin Clark's not going to be 6th in the by the stats. He said he's doing another one of these articles. By the way he was talking in the interview, it sounds like he's not going to be 6th. She's not going to be 6th, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her at 3rd or 4th. But if you see here again, it favors people that try to do less on the floor. Like Kate Martin is the 3rd best rookie. Kate Martin. She was averaging 4 points per game. Kate Martin is last in the league in 2. She'd only shot 7 shots that weren't threes. She shot at this point in the year. She'd shot 7 shots that weren't threes. So I wouldn't be surprised if it has Rickea Jackson at number 2, because Rickea Jackson's shooting percentages are good. She's averaging more numbers. And by the way, look, Rickea Jackson. This rookie class is about the top 2, but man, Rickea Jackson's been great. She has been great. But if you are judging by the analytics, and it's not even by the stats, it's by 4 arbitrary stats that other than win shares, I don't know what any of these other stats mean. I know what PER means. I don't know what SP or win is, and I don't know what the hell the consensus is. I don't know what consensus means. And the fact is that, again, they're going to be doing a ranking based on these 4 stats. So it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny when ESPN releases the article of Caitlin Clark at number 3. It's going to be very, very funny when you see her at number 3. Or you see a game yesterday where Caitlin Clark she's only the 2nd player in history to lead her team in points, assists, steals, and blocks in a single game. Only 2nd player in the history. In the 25-year history of the WNBA? 27 years? 1997? 27 years history of the WNBA. Only one person has ever done that in a game before, and Caitlin Clark has done it in her 25th game. And it's not one rookie, one person ever. So, yeah, it's going to be hilarious to read this article in a while. But according to the stats, Caitlin Clark is not even close to being Rookie of the Year. And to be fair, I will always say this. We saw with the Jokic thing, these voters love advanced stats.